Hi, I'm Scott Shaw, founder of the Shaw Law Firm. This video is about, can I sue for invasion of privacy in the state of Georgia? Or alternatively, can I invade someone's privacy if I have a really good reason to do so? And that really good reason might be to obtain evidence in a divorce or child custody case. Happily, the answer to both is yes, but you better strategically think about it because you can literally go to jail if you do it wrong. First, who we are. I'm Scott Shaw. I'm the founder of the Shaw Law Firm. We are Atlanta, Georgia child custody and divorce attorneys. And I bring this up because I'm often asked, why should you listen to me? And the reason is because we kind of know what we're talking about, and we've been doing this for quite a long time. To start with, the right of privacy is recognized by the state of Georgia. There's a statute on it, and there are 4 common law causes of action. If your privacy is invaded, you can sue for damages. You could even take it to a jury trial. You can obtain a protective order for stalking against someone. You can file criminal charges against them. And at a minimum, even if they obtain some juicy evidence against you, you may be able to have that evidence excluded from any trial if they obtained it unlawfully. However, you should understand your right to privacy is not absolute. And that's true particularly in divorce and child custody cases. In a divorce child custody case in Georgia, the Georgia Supreme Court has said there are legitimate reasons to surveil someone and to even invade their privacy. You can use GPS devices. You can record phone calls if done correctly, which we'll get into. You can video or audio tape people. You can surveil the person. You can even stake a person out. The question comes up, since you can do all those things, when am I allowed to invade someone's privacy to obtain evidence, and how am I allowed to do so? Well, the Georgia Supreme Court has not only ruled that you may invade someone's privacy to obtain evidence, but someone actually may waive the right to privacy if an issue comes up in a divorce or child custody case. This is because the other party has the right to investigate the well-being of their children, to investigate if, for example, their spouse is cheating, or to investigate, for example, to try to find missing assets. However, this waiver to privacy is not absolute. You cannot use some means that are prohibited by law, which we'll get to, means that you never use no matter what, unless you have a warrant, and that you only invade someone's privacy reasonably if you have a reasonable suspicion using reasonable means. You must remember, you can be sued, you can have a stalking order taken out against you, you could be criminally charged. If you obtain the evidence wrong, the evidence can be excluded no matter how valuable it is. And sometimes if you do it in an unsavory enough manner, just presenting the evidence, once you tell the judge how you obtained it, will be used against you more than the probative value of the evidence will be used to help your case. So this has to be done strategically and done right. Let's start off with GPS tracking devices. This is a controversial means of surveillance. Many states have made GPS tracking devices illegal absent a warrant or other circumstances. That is not the case in Georgia, though. It is legal to use GPS tracking devices. There's been some rumbling that some drafting of laws to make this illegal, but it's never got anywhere yet in Georgia. So this is commonly done. It's always legal to do it if it's in a car that's in your name. That's your car, no matter who's driving it. It doesn't matter where the car is located when you place a GPS device in the car. If you place it when the car is sitting in a public place, like an open parking lot, even an open driveway that's publicly available for anybody to see and go to, that's fine. Just don't place the GPS device in the car when it's somewhere private, like in the garage or a private country club or something like that. Also, the intent to use a GPS device has to be for a legitimate reason to collect evidence, and for my purposes in a child custody or divorce case. Do not use it to harass, intimidate, embarrass, or any of these reasons, because that stuff will get you nowhere in your case and get you in trouble. Other legal surveillance methods, generally speaking, are video and audio recording. First, it's important to understand, and I advise all my clients, it is perfectly legal in the state of Georgia to record your own telephone calls, as long as you're a party to the call. Even if you're a party to a phone call, let's say it's a conference call with 10 others on it, You don't have to get their permission, their consent. You can record the phone call. It's perfectly legal. And if you are talking to someone on the other end of the phone, you should be aware they may be recording you as well, and that will be perfectly legal. However, it is not legal to record someone else's phone calls, and it's not legal to place a recording device on your phone that will automatically do so. This is taken very seriously. There was actually a case in Cobb County a few years ago where the parents were recording their teenager's phone calls. She was talking to a child molester next door. They got the evidence. He was convicted. The Georgia Supreme Court overturned it because at the time there was no exception to recording someone else's phone calls, and that was the only evidence they had. Since then, a law has been passed that makes it legal to record your children's phone calls, but only for the prevention of a crime or something really affecting their welfare. Talk to your attorney first before you do it, because if you're going to do it, you want to get it done right so it can be used in court. If you want to video and audio record someone, it's perfectly legal to do so in any public place. You can also keep your cell phone on you at pretty much any time that you want. However, it is not legal to record someone in their private places, within the curtilage of their home, within their own automobile, any area that would be considered private. Don't tear through their house, through the window, try to invade their privacy that way. There's a fine line there. I remember once we got a video about a nude man at 3 in the morning in the window, which turned out to be a pretty good piece of evidence for that particular case. But for the most part, unless it's really blatant like this, I mean, he was standing right at the window. Don't peer into the home. So don't hide cameras around in someone else's private places, or recording the audio recording sensors, whatever. That's just that might get you put in jail. It is legal though to put recording devices around your home, in your own private places, that sort of thing. So you should expect that if someone comes into your house, you may have recording devices in your house. At your house, you can do so. However, if you are living with somebody else, it's usually not a best practice and can be unlawful if you place hidden cameras and hidden microphones, if that is also their own home. So that's a fine line there as well. Talk with your attorney about it. But other than that, you're perfectly legal to put recording devices within the curtilage of your own home, your own places, in your own car. Other legal methods of surveillance are the old-fashioned personal ones. You want to stake out someone, for example, follow them. You can do so, but it's best to keep this covert. First, you'll get the best results that way. And second, if you're too blatant about following them around, they might start to feel that they're being harassed, intimidated, that sort of thing. And although you may have the right to do so, they may file a civil action against you for invasion of privacy. They may file for a stalking order, or they may even file criminal charges, and you don't want to have to defend against this sort of thing. So do it well, do it covertly, and talk to your attorney about it. Now, it is not legal to go into someone's home or into their private places to put a recording device in their car or anything of that sort. Stay away from the curtilage of their home or private places unless you have a warrant, and only government police are able to get a warrant. Now, we can get an order from the court to allow us to inspect places. So if we need to go in somewhere that's in someone's home or private place, let's get an order from the court first. We can do that if it's important enough. You think they're going to run away with some property or destroy evidence on an expedited basis normally. But that's the way to handle that. Stay away from their private places. Now, there are some things that are always illegal. Now, the one that's most surprising to people is their password. For example, you may have been given your girlfriend, boyfriend, wife may have given you their password to their accounts, but now you're broke up, but they never withdrew the password or your permission to go into their accounts. Well, in Georgia, as a matter of law, but this is what courts do. Courts infer that your right to go into their accounts, even though they gave you their password, is withdrawn. So your permission has expired. So it's not going to produce admissible evidence if you have their password and go into their account. Now, I will tell you that you can obtain a lot of information that way, and you could obtain this information and use that fruit of the poisonous tree to obtain that information in another method. In a criminal case, fruit of the poisonous tree would exclude anything you discover from using a non-lawful means to find evidence to be used against you. However, in a civil case, the fruit of the poison tree doesn't really apply. So if you find something in someone's email that you got into because you had the password, you can use other means to find it in another manner, and quite often that can be useful. But I am not advising anybody to violate the law or to use someone else's passwords to go into another person's account. There are other ways to obtain this evidence through a subpoena or a court order. As we've talked about before, do not put hidden cameras or microphones in a private place, not yours. That is going to possibly even be a criminal act on your part, so don't do it. Don't intercept radio signals, cellular, Wi-Fi. Don't put recording devices or key loggers or that sort of thing on a computer, so you intercept what's going to the computer. If it's on your own computer and let's say it's a joint computer, the people that we're trying to investigate also use that computer. We'll talk about it, but generally speaking, don't do it. If it's just your computer and you think someone's jumping on your computer to steal stuff, that's a different that's a different thing, but let's discuss how to go about doing that. And we've already talked about it's not lawful to record the phone calls that you are not a party to. We spoke about the exception of your child and trying to protect your child from a crime. But other than that, don't do it. Don't put a recording device on it. Again, you can go to jail. Now, to sum it up, as I got a little graphic on there, this needs to be done strategically, not just to avoid sending you to jail, not just to avoid doing something that can get a stalking order against you, but even if you do everything legal, but if you end up collecting the evidence in a manner that the court considers to be unsavory, the manner that you use to find the evidence can be used against you as well, and perhaps may look worse upon you than it actually looks upon the person that you gathered the evidence to use against. So it's important evidence is gathered in a proper manner, in a legal manner, and in a manner that is admissible in court, and in a manner that won't piss off the judge. So it's very important to be strategic when surveilling someone and trying to collect some evidence in this manner. So that is something you should work with your attorney about and figure out what we need, how we can do it. And also it's important to figure out what we might know exists, but we can't get and we'll have to live without. So I'm Scott Shaw Law Firm. If you have any questions about this, this is a quick video on it, but we deal with these specifics in many cases, and it's something that we enjoy doing. So give us a call, give us an email, give us a text. We'd be happy to speak with you. Thank you.